This is Ed Park, aka Taugrim, bringing you my beta preview for the Jedi Knight Sentinel class. This is a dual-wielding melee DPS spec that packs a lot of punch, and I'm going to talk about the class mechanics, my spec, and show you footage from a Huttball. The core mechanic is called Focus. They're basically points up to 12 that build up on the character as you use certain abilities and you spend them on focus consuming abilities. You can think of it as combo points that build up on the player instead of the target. Strike is the bread and butter focus generating ability, although you'll only want to use it when other focus generating abilities are on cooldown. Force Leap is our charge mechanic. You can close the gap from 10 to 30 meters. It applies a root effect on your target and it generates 3 focus. All Sentinels get an awesome ability called Zealous Strike. It instantly generates 6 focus and has a 15-second cooldown. This ability is really important because it gives you plenty of focus to work with in terms of your special abilities. So one of the special abilities that I like the most is called Blade Storm. It's a core trainable Jedi Knight ability. It hits like a truck and it's usable out to 10 meters of range. We also have Slash, which has no cooldown. It's also a finisher, but it doesn't hit as hard as abilities like Blade Storm. We get an awesome defensive ability called Rebuke, and it's a 6-second buff that provides 20% damage mitigation. And when you're attacked, this buff will refresh and reflects damage back to the attacker, and it can last as long as 30 seconds total when it gets refreshed. We have a really important ability that you get at level 16 called Leg Slash. This is the hamstring or snare ability. We also get an ability called Force Kick, I think at 18, that is a interrupt that is also spell lockout, and then at 18 we get Crippling Throw, which is the healing debuff. You can basically keep a single target heal debuff by chaining it. As far as spec, you get your choice of 3 different DPS damage trees with different mechanics. I'm currently using the Focus tree. There is a really nice buff on the first level here that buffs up your force damage, and another that adds an additional second to the root effect for Force Leap. And there's a nice buff in the second tier that increases the crit percentage for Slash, which is the spammable focus consuming ability. And there's also a really interesting buff in the second tier here that reduces the cooldown of your force attacks when you're in Chicho form. And this is really critical because Blade Storm is, in my opinion, our best DPS ability at lower levels. And it reduces, when you're in Chicho form, it reduces the cooldown from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. And remember, Blade Storm is usable out to 10 meters, so it's like a mini-ranged finisher. The Alderaan Warzone is a node control fight where there are 3 nodes along an x-axis in the map, and the goal is to control those nodes and burn down the enemy ship's health from 600 to 0. The nodes being on an x-axis has some interesting gameplay implications, which I'll talk through. So let's take a look at a Huttball match. I'm at level 18 here, and Sentinel PvP really picks up at level 16 once you get Leg Slash, and then at 18 you get the healing debuff. So I can tell looking at the map, I'm the only purple guy who came to this node, and I don't want to give the Imperials a free cap, so I Force Leap into this level 24 Marauder, so this is my mirror class, but 6 levels higher. And I immediately pop Rebuke and Saber Ward. And you can see now, even though I'm outnumbered 1v3, I'm still able to put out some significant damage on this target here. And this really speaks to the strength of the Sentinel class. It can deal tremendous amounts of single target DPS burst damage. And I'll talk about the limitations of the class, but you can see they're even outnumbered 1 versus 3 against a higher level opponent. I was able to burn his health down to about 35%. I head over to the west node to defend, and I get caught out in the open by a level 21 Sork and a 50 Sork. So I start strafing back toward my help at the node, and I get some clutch healing here from a smuggler named Nitrous. So you notice after Force Leap, I use Master Strike. Master Strike is a 3-second channel ability. It is a self-root. You can't move, or otherwise it will cancel the channel. And it's great because the rooting effect of Force Leap a lot of times will guarantee you to get a full 3-second Master Strike channel off, and it hits like a truck. So we were trying to beat on that level 50 Sorcerer and not getting anywhere fast. We go ahead and switch over to level 21 Sorcerer, and notice I'm chaining my healing debuff, Crippling Throw, whenever it's off global cooldown. So we're continuing to pressure. You know, these sorcerers have knockbacks and bubbles, so this is definitely taking a long time to attack them. And one thing that I should have done here, I'm level 18, so I now have the force kick ability. But when he's starting to cast, you can see that little blue bar underneath. I should cast because it creates a 4-second spell lockout. That's definitely something I need to make sure to do since I just picked up that new ability. Alright, so we're applying pressure, and we do a fast switch over to this level 50 player. I notice that he's at low health, and then we burn him down, and then we get back on the 21 Sorcerer. So you can tell, even though I'm only level 18 here, with the bolster mechanic, I am able to hit pretty hard, and then I get back and use Force Leap. And you can see Force Leap can cover a lot of ground, and it can also get you up Z-axis, vertical levels as well, as long as you have line of sight on the target. The level 50 Bounty Hunter comes over. This player was the top damage dealer in the match, and as soon as Master Strike's done, I apply Leg Slash for the snare. So I'm trying to keep as much pressure on this Bounty Hunter as possible, and you notice he goes ahead and knocks me back, but it's okay because my Force Leap is off global cooldown. I go ahead and charge back in and get Cauterize on him for the dot. Cauterize is an awesome ability. It has an upfront damage component and then a very heavy dot. I love that animation of throwing the lightsaber. And right here I use Blade Swarm from distance, and then I strafe kite away to create enough separation to be able to Force Leap back in, and then I get stunned and the Smuggler comes over and finishes off the Bounty Hunter. In a 1v1, it's really critical to get the opener. I go ahead and Force Leap into this higher level Marauder. Again, this is a mirror match. Actually, sorry, this is a Juggernaut. No, it's a Marauder. He's got 2 lightsabers. Okay, and you can see a bunch of damage ticks there. Those are all from the reflective component of Rebuke. It's just an awesome ability, and toward the end of the fight there, my friendlies come over and they provide some healing. Although I think the fight was actually going in my favor since I had got the jump on him first, and he was at 80% health to start. So you can take the tunnel to get quickly to the far node. There are run speed buffs, and so you can traverse the map. You don't have to go through the center node, which can be pretty painful. And the east node is totally overrun. I could tell based on looking at the number of purple icons moving around the map. There was some heavy fighting because nobody called out the incoming. So I go ahead and get on a target. It happens to be that same level 50 Bounty Hunter that I've been fighting a few minutes ago, and I'm trying to keep pressure on him so that he can't sit down and free cast, because I know if he does that, he's going to blow people up. And I'm very careful here. Try to use Blade Storm and Cauterize as much as possible whenever they're off global cooldown, because they hit hard. Blade Storm is great single target burst, and Cauterize hits pretty. Has a nice upfront component, but also has that excellent dot. I find a target that's at fairly low health. I go ahead and charge in with Force Leap, and one of the most important things about playing a Jedi Knight or Sith Warrior well is managing your focus. So you can see I filled up my focus bar so I don't use focus generating abilities, and I chew through my focus with special attacks, and we burn down a player, and then we burn down another player there. Now I can kind of tell this degree just watching other Jedi Knights or Jedi Knights or Sith Warriors play. If they allow their focus bar to overfill up and they're not spending it fast enough, then they're not doing the right thing. You absolutely want to keep generating focus and spending it so that you can use your special abilities. That's really where the strength of this class lies as far as dealing burst DPS. So I'm trying as much as possible whenever to get on targets to make sure they are leg slashed. Even if it's a melee, it makes it a lot easier to keep them in range. And leg slash has a very long duration. It's like 12 seconds. So you can see I had switched away from this target, but the leg slash effect is still on him. We go ahead and drop him. And then another player comes by here, and I switch targets quickly and get the killing blow on him. It gives me that accolade, Taugrim is unbeatable. I think that means I've gotten 6 total killing blows in the match so far. And, in this fighting over in the East node, I haven't really been getting much meaningful healing. So the main reason I've been able to stay up is I've been using my cooldowns. I've had Rebuke up. Rebuke lasted the full 30 seconds, I think. It just came off. It just wore off there, and then I popped Saber Ward. Now, right there, I should have popped Saber Ward earlier, knowing that I'm not getting healing. And the awesome thing is, if you have a node, you can rejoin that node defense with an Edge Speeder Bike, and this doesn't go and fly around the middle. This goes straight to the node, and it's a great mechanic for allowing an outnumbered force hold a node by just continuing to fly back in like I just did. So Force Leap in, Master Strike, and then I go ahead and drop this player with the help of all these other friendlies. And at this point, I know that we've beaten off the east side attack, so I go to check out west. I'm at about 40% health here, and that 24 Marauder Force Leaps into me. Unfortunately, both of my mitigation abilities, Saber Ward and Rebuke, are on cooldown, and in a second here, this opponent uses his level 24 channeled stun, which is an awesome ability. And I get a riposte proc right here. It's an instant cast burst ability off the global cooldown whenever you have a successful defense. So you want to make sure to use it. To be honest with you, the low-level Jedi Knight and Sith Warrior PvP can be frustrating at times. A big reason for this is we don't get our meaningful crowd control ability until level 24, which is 10 levels later than the other 6 advanced classes start getting their really cool crowd control. And so, it can make it really hard to stay in contact of opponents and control them. This level 15 Imperial Agent is one of the top 2 ones that I've seen in the past week. She's only level 15, but she finished 3rd overall in damage for this Warzone, behind only a 50 Bounty Hunter and 50 Sorcerer that you've seen previously. So she smartly drops her portable cover there. I can't force charge in, and I should have used Rebuke immediately. That would have taken the edge off of those 2k damage shots that she was dealing, but I pop Rebuke here, get Cauterize on her, and you'll see a ton of little yellow numbers. Those are from the damage reflect as well as the dot. And then I managed to drop her. If we were both at full health and I didn't have a healer around, she would probably take me down. She's got too much crowd control, and that player's very smart with the timing and placement of portable cover. I am planning to roll a Sentinel at launch for my guild and our PvP for both Warzones and World PvP especially. I'm going to be one of our main target assists, and having the damage of the Sentinel combined with the healing debuff and its ability to close gaps quickly will be really useful in organized PvP. So we win this Warzone pretty decisively, and I finished 4th overall in damage, behind only the level 50 Bounty Hunter and Sorcerer and that skilled level 15 Imperial Agent. I finished with 16 kills, 6 killing blows. The top healer in the match was a smuggler with over 340k healing, so that player gets my MVP vote. I will be cranking out a lot more SWTOR content, so please like and subscribe to this video, and follow me at Taugrim. I am live streaming. Check out my channel for the schedule, and I am also joining the Game Breaker Republic Show cast. Take care.
Game Breaker TV.